Now, arriving in Washington, D.C. early this morning, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is all set for his first meeting with US President Donald Trump since his return to the White House last month. Netanyahu is expected to discuss what he called victory over Hamas, countering Iran and expanding diplomatic relations with Arab countries. Tuesday's meeting at the White House will be Trump's first with a foreign leader since returning to office. It comes as US and Arab mediators begin the daunting work of brokering the second phase of a ceasefire agreement to wind down the 15-month war in Gaza. Let me go across to my colleague Ghazali for more on this. Ghazali, if you could, this is of course a very significant meeting, the first foreign leader that President Trump is meeting after taking oath the second time around as the President of the United States. Of course, Trump has already made certain tall claims about the Israel-Gaza war. So in terms of the agenda of this meeting, that's very clear. But what can we expect?
The very first significance of this visit is that how Mr. Trump doesn't want this entire conflict to further deepen or spread into other areas. And that is why his entire proposal of shifting the population of Gaza to Egypt and Jordan has been recently rejected by the Arab League and Arab nations there. Now, Mr. Netanyahu happens to be the first leader now who will be meeting Mr. Trump in Washington tomorrow. The agenda of the meeting will revolve around the second stage of the ceasefire, because the first stage of ceasefire is the exchange of or the release of Palestinian prisoners from Israeli prison and the hostages from Hamas's captivity. The first stage will end by the end of next month. That was a 42-day period. Now, the other issue which will be discussed will certainly be the diminishing effect or influence of Iran in the region, with Syria getting new administration under Mr. al-Shara, the former HTS chief. Then you are also getting a new prime minister in Lebanon. So these will be the issues which we will discuss, but two major issues besides Gaza ceasefire could be, one, the diminishing influence of Iran, as well as the Saudi Arabia and Israel normalization was one of the pick of Mr. Trump's foreign policy when he came to office for the first time, when he sort of anchored the entire Abraham Accords, and that is exactly what is expected, that Trump will try to bring the tempers down in the entire Middle East region, and that is why he is not going to give Mr. Netanyahu a lot of leeway when it comes to affairs in West Bank, though Mr. Netanyahu and his far-right ministers in the cabinet hints that in exchange of this ceasefire or pause in the war between Hamas and Israel, Israel will be allowed to expand its illegal settlements in the West Bank.